Welcome to Hardheaded Podcast. What does a father of 3 kids,
father of 5,
father of 2,
have to say about what's going on in the world today? Find out in
3, 2,
kick it!
Welcome to another episode of Hardheaded. I'm your host, Matt Amos. With me, as always, with his notes, is Chet Sears. Alongside him is Troy Trussell. Today's podcast, we're going to hear what's on Chet's mind. Our top 3 are the top 3 menu items if Hardheaded Podcast had a restaurant. And then Troy,
that's going to be fun.
Troy is going to finish it with a good word. But first, Chet, what's on your mind?
All right. Men. I'm thinking about men. That's what's been on my mind here recently. And to kind of put it in the context, I'm going to read a portion of a speech that Teddy Roosevelt gave in Paris, France back in 1910. The name of the speech is Citizen in a Republic, and he was basically talking about the need for men to do daring things in order for a republic to last. Now, if you could think this is 100 years from the War of 1812, the future of our nation was still in doubt on whether or not this great experiment was actually going to work. And he was trying to declare in France, where they also had a revolution, in order for a republic to be led by the citizens, you need the citizens to do daring things. So in this speech, and it went on forever, by the way, because Teddy Roosevelt could talk, there's a portion of it, and you guys may be familiar with this portion, but they call it the man in the arena. So I'm going to read this to you, and kind of this is the foundation, I think, of what's been on my mind lately. It's not the critic. This is the quote from the speech. It's not the critic who counts, not the man who points out how the strong man stumbles, or where the doer of deeds could have done them better. The credit belongs to the man who is actually in the arena, whose face is marred by dust and sweat and blood, who strives valiantly, who errs, who comes short again and again, because there is no effort without error and shortcoming, but who does actually strive to do the deeds, who knows the great enthusiasms, the great devotions, who spends himself in a worthy cause, who at the best knows in the end the triumph of high achievement, and who at the worst, if he fails, at least he fails while daring greatly, so that his place shall never be with those cold and timid souls who neither know victory nor defeat. Shame on the man of cultivated taste who permits refinement to develop into fastidiousness that unfits him for doing the rough work of a workday world. Among the free peoples who govern themselves, there is but a small field of usefulness open for the men of cloistered life who shrink from contact with their fellows. Still, less room is there for those who deride or slight what is done by those who actually bear the brunt of the day, nor yet for those others who always profess that they would like to take action if only the conditions of life were not exactly what they actually are. The man who does nothing cuts the same sordid figure in the pages of history. Whether he be a cynic or a fop or a voluptuary, there is little use for the being whose tepid soul knows nothing of the great and generous emotion, of the high pride, the stern belief, the lofty enthusiasm of the men who quell the storm and ride the thunder. Number one, I apologize for not doing more research back in 2019, 2020 when we started the podcast, because the perfect name for this podcast would be the men who quell the storm and ride the thunder. Isn't that awesome?
Let's have a business meeting. Vote to change the name of Hardheaded. All those in favor?
To the men who quell the storm and ride the thunder.
Podcast.
I love that. What do you guys think about that?
It's nice.
That's nice.
Do you see that today?
What would be better is if I actually had a copy of that in front of me and I could read some of that stuff, because it kind of went through it and there was a lot.
There's a lot.
There's a lot there in such a short, compact.
So I will summarize this in my words while you read through that.
Thank goodness he's finally going to summarize something.
That's just a paragraph of like a 2-hour speech.
Right.
What he's saying is there's no room for people to sit and complain and to point out the error of men who are putting forth effort, like time and time again. He said that you're better off getting in the arena, getting dirty, and fighting and losing or winning than you are by sitting in the stands and critiquing everything that's going on in the arena. And I look at today, so if you just, we're a couple of weeks away from football season being over, and you want to talk about, and maybe I'm closer to it this year than I've ever been, but the amount of complaining about officiating is maddening to me. Like every game, well, the official blew that call, the official blew that call. Shut up. Have you ever officiated a game? I don't want to hear it. You expect an official to be perfect? You have players drop passes all the time. That's a mistake. You're going to have an official make a mistake. Shut up. But if you want to get broader into this, in general, I see a lot of men that are dissatisfied with so-and-so, nobody ever called me to do this, or I'm alone for that. You're sitting in the stands complaining. If you're doing that, get in the arena. If you're tired of not having people to go do stuff, invite somebody to go do stuff. If you want to, go on a trip, but you're not going on a trip because nobody invited you, create one. Get in the arena. And I had the opportunity I was in Rome about a month ago and was there for 2 weeks on business, but over the, had the weekend and toured the Coliseum, and we did the tour that you went into the underground part where
you nonsense insane,
dude. A guy yelled that out so loud.
Oh yeah,
where it kind of scared some people because you're like, is this guy's yelling this loud? Is he gonna like blow himself up or something? But it was that, and when people realized he's just being funny, he got like a half-hearted round of applause from random people that were there. But anyway, so we were down in where the gladiators were. There was a special entrance for them. Like it was legit where they were, like touching the things that they touched. It was pretty cool to be there. But then to understand the difference between where they were and what they were doing, whether it was a gladiator or a slave or a Christian that was just there to be killed for sport, which they did a lot of. And then everything that we've seen, and I know there's been some digital renditions and all that kind of stuff, but the wealthier people had box seats basically, and they were marble. They had a coating of marble, so they you had everything built of stone, and then they had a special seat that was contoured for your butt, and they kind of went over and you would have something engraved, your name and your position, your title, or whatever else. And they were sitting on the west side of the stadium where it was shady first and all the stuff, from the heat of the day. And I don't know, it meant something to me because we walked up there later. And the difference from being down in the bottom of the arena where the lions were, where all the, the piss and poop from every animal and human that was down there is nasty. I mean, it probably wasn't any fun. But then to go up and have to, battle for your life just to entertain somebody that's going to say, oh, that guy he should have blocked that sword blow with his shield instead of that, the dummy. Yeah, I mean, and it kind of hit me. And I actually had read through this speech before that. And so this was kind of on my mind when I was looking at all that there's something to be said for people that get out and try. And I think it just seems to me from our culture, our Western culture, that men are trying less and less and critiquing more and more. And Teddy Roosevelt would be pretty upset with you because of it.
Yeah. So it says here, one of the lines that that stuck out to me was, "Shame on the man of cultivated taste who permits refinement to develop into fastidiousness that unfits him for doing the rough work of a workday world." So you've gotten too fancy, you've gotten too lax, and now you can't even go out and handle a day's work.
Yeah. You're gonna debate on this, that, or the other, but you can't swing a hammer.
Yeah.
Like, go swing a hammer.
But you're going to tell that guy how
Yeah.
to swing the hammer. So that stuck out. And then there is a small field of usefulness open for the men of cloistered life who shrink from contact with their fellows. Still, less room is there for those who deride or slight what is done by those who actually bear the brunt of the day. So basically, there's less room for people who are going to sit there and talk about it, but not be about it.
I'll listen to him. I gotta pull that out. The other thing I think that sticks out is here, like, he uses the word strive a few times, like, who strives valiantly, does actually strive, like, put effort, just effort to make it happen, even if you fail while you're trying, but to try. And it just seems to me that today there's a lot more of this go with the flow, but I'm not just going to go with the flow. I'm going to go with the flow and critique anybody who's trying. And that's starting to burn me up.
That's the digital age. Like, that's all social media is, I feel like.
Well, this was 1910.
Yeah.
And they were still back there.
Well, it just makes it easier for people this year.
Well, it's giving everybody a voice.
Yeah.
Where back then they would have been called out, but now you've got people that are just soft.
And all they're doing is running around critiquing stuff. And we have platforms for them to do it on.
Because it's harder to be hard.
Is it? Well, you don't have that many examples to learn from.
Well, you don't have the examples, but it's also, there are a lot of things that come with going against the flow and standing up for what's right.
Yeah.
And so part of that is included in there. I mean, so it's more difficult to do it that way.
Right.
That full day, that rough day of work is harder than your.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
I think as we're getting softer, the softer people are raising kids. So, and I may have talked about this, it's been almost 2 years now, but we went to admitted Wildcat Day when Stone was starting K-State. It was like the summer before he went, or the spring before he started in the fall. And, so they invite the parents now. Like, I remember going to orientation as a freshman.
I went by myself.
Yeah. I drove myself there.
I was already in school by myself.
Yeah. But they invite parents now. So we went, like, to get, and we're looking at college as our, our nest pushing. Like, there's a little bit of security there, but, like, we're not doing things for you. And some of the parents, like, they had this session, parents that have never had kids go to school, parents who have kids, some kids in school, and this is your just more kids.
Yeah, I remember you talking about
parents of the last kids that are in school, and just the parents freaking out about their kids being outside the house. Like, don't freak out. This is supposed to happen. Like, get it. They can't live with you forever. Like, maybe that's what you want. I don't know.
Some do.
Live in mom's
And then
basement.
remember we had Jody Stokes on, one of the guests, and his son joined the Marines not too long after he was on our podcast, and Matt was pretty helpful in that situation, being a Marine, with their son joining the Marine Corps. And but I've got a friend of mine whose son just joined the Army, and, like, there's groups, social media groups of moms that just talk about how their sons cry and say they can't make it. Like, I don't know how many people. You had people in World War II that were lying about their age
To go.
so they could get in and go. And now you've got people that volunteer to go. It's a volunteer army. And when they have to start doing push-ups, they cry to mom. And their moms are worried about, like, oh, I want to bring him home. Is there any way I could get him out? No. Like, well, there is, but it's ruin him. So anyway, I just think
And
if you are on
there's
the borderline
there's
of being
so much there on that.
the man in the arena or the man in the stands, get off your butt and get in the arena and do something. That's what's been on my mind. And I'm trying to find ways through a couple of the avenues that I have to motivate men to do that. This is one of them, and that's why I'm talking about it now. And I've got a couple other opportunities. I just spoke at a prayer breakfast not too long ago, and I brought this up then too. Like, it's time to do something. And I don't care what it is. Just get in the arena and strive for something. Quit sitting back and complaining about everything.
I don't care if you yell, "Are you not entertained?"
Yeah,
It's doing something.
but do it from the arena floor.
All right.
So that's what I've got.
All right. Well, appreciate it, Chet. We're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to talk about the top 3 menu items if Hardheaded Podcast had a restaurant. At Admiral's Pennant, our mission is to offer the latest and refined, high-quality masculine products and services to the modern gentleman, as well as provide him with the tools and products necessary to look, act, and feel confident in his appearance and social interactions. Check it out at admiralspennant.com. Without it, you might as well shave.
Wow!
That would have been epic.
We're back.
If
and
we'd have
Troy
caught
is
that on
way back.
Almost fell
Way
out
back.
of my chair there. That was great.
All right. We've got our top 3 menu items at a hard-headed restaurant. And Troy, why don't you start us off?
All right. Number 3.
Yeah, hold on. Did you enjoy this?
I did.
Yeah, it's kind of fun.
So I do have an honorable mention that we'll talk afterwards.
All right.
Because there's some appetizers that.
Yeah, go for it. Yeah, I think. I mean, you know, you get your top 3 and honorable mentions, but we could probably come up with a good menu. There's maybe a little overlap here too, but
Yeah, that's what I think. Fried crappie.
ooh,
Definitely have to be on the menu. It's one of my favorite fish to eat. And yeah, it's good. Number 2, duck.
well, cooked what way?
I only put duck because I only know one way to cook it, and that's duck gumbo, which we could put on the menu as well.
Yeah.
But recently, I've had a lot of different duck cooked a lot of different ways.
Yeah.
There's that new Envision Bistro downtown here that the
right down the street.
WSU Culinary School.
Yeah.
The kids are in there cooking, and they've had like a duck patty melt. They've had a couple other duck plates or dishes or whatever. It's been really good.
Yeah.
And they're not
farm raised duck.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it tastes a lot different.
Not wild duck.
Yeah.
But yeah, they're really good.
Yeah.
So
There's and when I was in China not too long ago, lots of duck more than chicken. Just duck everywhere.
Yeah.
I love it. It's really good.
it's good. And then number 1, boiled crawfish. In season, of course, but
Have you heard about the tragedy of this year?
heck, we went down to Shreveport and looked on the menu, and I went, it's my favorite thing to eat in the world, but I'm not paying $50 to eat 3 pounds of crawfish.
No. Yeah. They're hurting.
Yeah.
Drought.
Yeah.
there's bad,
Well,
bad shape.
my old roommate usually traps them and has enough to sell and make good living during the season, like extra, passive income basically. He said, yeah, we're not running traps till probably April to even see if we got any.
You know, we got to try it again. Cheyenne Bottoms has water again.
Oh, did it fill back up?
Yeah.
From all the snow and rain that we've had?
Yeah.
We should go try.
August.
Yeah, that's when it is.
Yeah.
I'm down.
I'm down. I used to catch them in the creek.
Well, this is like a wholesale deal. I bought all that crap, and I went up there with your dad, and we didn't get anything. Like, we did this too.
Did you buy the big pot and everything?
No, I mean like a
trap?
dredge.
Oh, they go
like
trap.
you don't trap them, you dredge them. Like you have this basket on the end of a long pole, and you get in these ditches and scrape them up. But they're trying to move from one pool to the other. So if they have water flowing from one pool to the other, you just stay in one spot, and they just keep moving up there. But I got in there and dredged and dredged and dredged, and nothing. And then every now and then you'd find like pieces of one that a bird ate, but just laying on the ground. But I'm game. All right, you want me to go?
Yeah.
Crispy pizza. So I know that Matt and I have.
Are we just ordering in the Red Baron?
No. So Matt introduced. I'm a fan of it crunching when you bite into the pizza crust, like not soft and chewy, but the crunch. And so when we went out to Matt's deer camp, he got a couple of Red Barons from Dollar General. Tombstones. Yeah. And he's like, just so you know, I'm cooking these till they're almost burnt. Like they're well done. And I'm like, hey man, let's do it. Let's see what you got. And that's exactly how I liked it. Just overcooked almost. But anyway, so if you take that same concept, but do it with good ingredients, then I think we'd be on to something.
Probably.
Yeah.
There's something pretty addictive about it because it doesn't fill you up as fast as a softer.
Well, so I know
So people would buy more.
I know the secret, by the way. Because while we were in Rome, I had my wife take a
When in Rome.
Take a cooking class.
Do as they do.
Have my wife take a cooking class. And one of the things that they do with their pasta, and so they're what they make their pasta with and what they make their pizza dough with, is a different flour than what we use here. It's a double aught, a 0-0 texture of flour, and it kind of gives you a cracker. When you make it into the pizza dough, it's almost crackery. So it's really fluffy, it's really thin, and it gets really crunchy.
Crackery.
It is.
It's pretty white.
But anyway, so it is. It doesn't fill you up, and then that's like hey, this is a dead giveaway. It's not going to be that soft and fluffy stuff, which I love that. And then they do some different recipe with the same flour to make the pasta, which is pretty good. Number 2, jambalaya. And I would have to say my jambalaya, not just this other jambalaya, because as good as Cajun Shack was, their jambalaya is not that good. Because it's mass produced and they can do it on the cheap or whatever. But
No, yours is really good. Yours is way better than mine. I just used the back of the box of the Zatarans.
which
is still pretty good.
Where I think so flip that coin, I think your gumbo is better than mine. So, and my number 1 would be gumbo, and it would be lean towards your recipe for that.
Boom.
Which would be awesome.
We could do your gumbo.
My jambalaya.
But I make the tasso ham.
Yeah, but you use my recipe for that.
The tasso ham?
Yeah. I claim it's mine because I sent you the link on the internet.
From All Things Barbecue.
Yeah.
But I've actually made it, smoked it, and it's really good.
I know.
It's super good.
I know. I told you about it.
You did, and it was good.
You're welcome.
But that would have to go in the gumbo. That'd be like a requirement.
Yeah. Yeah, because here, all you can buy is just regular ham.
Yeah.
All right. It's on you, Matt.
Number 3, pulled pork. You know we got to have that on there.
Yep.
Because we could.
One of our favorites.
Chet and I can pump that out and pounds and pounds and pounds at a time.
I did.
You did this weekend, didn't you?
And I can put some away too.
And I've been called up to the majors, and so for the Wounded Warrior Outdoors Heritage Classic this year, I will be smoking some butts. In addition, we're having gumbo, and they told me to pass on to Chet that we were having an actual, legitimate crawfish boil.
So you're not going to cook it on a smoker?
It's not going to be a Traeger boil.
Traeger boil.
It's going to be a regular boil.
Awesome.
Number 2, chili.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
I like mine. I've had some of Chet's. I like it. I mean, I think we could combine some thoughts there and really come up with a pretty banging pot of chili.
Yeah, between the three of us.
Dude, this
we could.
has me wanting to put together a hard-headed cookbook. We got some pretty good cooks around this table.
Man. We got some great recipes, too.
I'm just, never mind. I don't want to do all that extra work.
Yeah, I don't either.
Leave a comment if you would buy it. Like,
if you'll buy it, we'll
if you'll
do
buy
it.
We'll put in the work.
Yeah.
And then number 1, shrimp creole.
Oh, yeah.
And my recipe has been verified by an actual Cajun in Huntington.
An actual from Shreveport?
No,
Yeah,
no. No, literally from wherever. But I made it for him in hunting camp, and he goes, dude, this is exactly like what my mom used to make.
Yeah.
He goes, the big, thick vegetables, and they're not all cut down real small, but they're big and whatever. And he goes, the flavor is there. He goes, this is just reminds me of home. Mm-hmm. So that kind of put my feather in the cap that I know what I'm doing on the shrimp creole. My whole family loves it. Yeah. And then of course you can adjust the spice if you want it to be super spicy or if you just kind of want a little bit laid back. But I'd feel comfortable serving that to anybody from Louisiana.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Love it.
I had chips and salsa.
Oh, definitely got to have the salsa starter.
Gotta definitely have that.
For sure.
And we've got, like, your son's salsa.
Oh, yeah.
I've got a salsa. I'm sure you've got a salsa. We could have like 3-4 different flavors of salsa. Man, it's fantastic.
And I think the only place we're probably short would be the dessert menu.
I thought you were going to have...
I make a pretty mean cobbler by my dad's recipe.
And I can do, I can go healthy. So like the labna and berries, basically like a yogurt with berries type of deal. But
nope, no yogurt. I'm not going to be a part of a yogurt.
It's not like...
Can you do it with ice cream?
It's not like...
Yeah. Can you substitute yogurt with ice cream?
No, you can't because it's not like a sweet ice cream. This is like actual yogurt from the Middle East, not what you think of.
So what you make that white sauce, what's it called? From you get at kebabs.
The white
Alfredo
Ziki sauce.
No, it's not Alfredo sauce. What do you?
The TZ.
Tahini.
No.
Yeah, it's tahini paste and tahini sauce. I mean, what?
That's what it is. The white yogurt based.
No, that's not yogurt based. That's
Never mind. I'm losing interest in my own question.
We're off the rails here.
It's a tahini paste that you make into a tahini sauce for hummus.
No, that's not it.
Or are you talking about the white one with the carrots and?
We'll talk about it later. I'm already bored with this. I know our listeners.
Because the one's the cucumber sauce. Are you talking about the other one?
The cucumber.
So there's the cucumber sauce, and then there's.
I'll look it up later.
The white one. I can't remember what the name of the white one is.
I'm boring myself.
Wow.
But yeah, same kind of yogurt, just different consistency.
Yeah.
All right.
Troy's got a good word for us.
Do you?
Yeah.
Spill it.
Doers. Kind of goes back to what Chet was talking about. James 1:22 says, "Be doers of the word, not hearers only, deceiving yourselves." So be doers of the word. So get in the arena and do something.
Don't be a church goer. Be a Jesus follower.
That's good. Yeah. Thanks for listening to the Hardheaded Podcast. Don't forget to share this podcast with others to help us get the word out.
Also, if you haven't yet, please rate and review the show. This helps our podcast show up in other people's suggested shows that may or may not have listened to us before.
Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next week.